Binary options trading may not be suitable for all investors as it carries a very high degree of risk to your capital. Trading such products is risky and you may lose all of your investment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Poor fill rates, expiry times, market volatility, and platform errors could result in losing trades. Before deciding to invest in binary options, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. You should be aware of all the risks associated with foreign exchange and binary options trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. So the agenda for today is to tell you a little bit about what Signal Hive is, who it's actually geared towards, and what type of market that we're trying to target with this, the key features of Signal Hive. Then I'll discuss a little bit about the signal accuracy of both types of signals that you'll find in Signal Hive, both the algorithmic or the robotic ones and the human signals. And we'll delve straight into the commercials, what the pricing is, and obviously what it means for you as a member. And then I want to spend a little bit of time discussing the Hive's long-term signals roadmap. There's a lot of research and development going on at BSB all the time. And what does it mean for Signal Hive and what type of expansion can you expect there? And then this one I find quite exciting. You can actually become a Hive trader yourself, a senior trader on Hive, and start to earn money. And I'll give you a little bit more information on how that works. And as always, we will end with a Q&A. I'm sure there are going to be quite a few questions. So to give you a quick description on what Signal Hive is, let's call it the Hive here on out. This is basically a signals marketplace, which allows binary option and FX traders to subscribe to signal streams that fit their style of trading in terms of the number of signals per day and also the win rate. All right. There's also a community chat element where you can chat to fellow traders or fellow members of the Hive, and of course the signal providers themselves, especially if they're human signal providers. The signals that are beamed on the Hive are two types. Firstly, robotic signals that you see here, okay, with this little robot icon, and then of course the human signals. What differentiates Hive from other signal services in the market is a few things. Firstly, it's constantly evolving, whereas the BSB research and development team is improving existing signal streams and always adding new robotic signal streams to the Hive. The second differentiating factor is the streams that are under 60% ITM. And mind you, you need about 58.5% in the money to make money in binary options. So any stream under 60% simply just won't make the Hive, right? So all the streams that we've added here have been backtested over years. It's not just 2 or 3 month backtests. And some of the signals you already know pretty well. And this ensures that the quality is maintained through time. It's very important that we have designed this product to be very low on education, and the focus here is to generate money for members using it week in and week out. And that's why we have this quality bar. The third differentiating factor is the Hive is hybrid in nature, which means the best vetted human traders can be subscribed to by you, the members, and their signals followed as signal sessions, along with robotic signal streams as well, which are firing 24 hours. So the human traders may have their particular time slots during the day when they deliver the signals, and that you would pick depending on you. And then the human the robotic signal streams are firing throughout the entire day. The final differentiating factor is Hive Chat. All right, which you don't see on this screen here. This allows traders to discuss signals that have appeared or that have been blasted on the Hive just now, and trade setups in general amongst each other. And they can also engage the signal provider or the human senior trader, thereby creating a true community element. All right, so in the BSB community, there's a community element. People help each other, and the senior traders act as mentors. Here, it's very similar. We've retained that element here. Of course, the focus is not on education. We don't expect you to filter the signals or anything like that. This is a push button type of service, but with a community element. So you don't feel that you're just trading alone. So that was a little bit about what Signal Hive is. Now we're going to discuss who is it actually for. And I think before describing Signal Hive, it probably makes sense because there are quite a few people on this webinar that are on their free trial for BSB, or for those of you that are just very new to the space in general. So Blue Sky Binary has been around for about 10 months now, right? 46 weeks to be exact. This is aimed at people who wish to acquire valuable trading skills that can be applied to not only binary options. If you look at our strategies that we teach, the knowledge that the senior traders have and some of the senior members have is cross asset class. It's not limited just to binary options. And the skills that we teach here, both technical and fundamental in nature, can be applied to a variety of asset classes. So through the application of the core trading strategy, which some of you know as Core 3, eventually Core 4, and the usage of advanced indicators on the dashboard, which we have created for members, and of course, confirmation of setups in the live trades room, BSB members can navigate the markets profitably over time and eventually become professional traders. That's the goal, right? That's why BSB was set up. They can also use BSB as a training academy. Okay, and some few members have done this. They've been with BSB for a few months. They've actually left and they've gone on to start their own signal groups. Okay, that should remain nameless here for legal reasons, but that has happened, and that's something we look forward to. We quite enjoy that. If BSB can give you the trading knowledge and the confidence for you to start your own signal group and start earning, that's great, right? So this is what BSB is. It's effectively an education and training academy where signals is not the focus, right? We deliver signals on the dashboard in the live trades room, but that's just not the focus. Now, Signal Hive is aimed at the mass market, or what we call hobby traders. These are what we would call people that stay at home, income earners who wish to create a passive income stream by following the signals that are delivered on a software or a platform without any analysis, right? And we understand that that market is substantially larger and there's a big demand and appetite for that. And ideally, they want to rely, they want to be able to rely on these signals and rely on the expertise of professional traders or, of course, high quality robotic tested signal streams, right? And so there's an element of that in Blue Sky Binary, but what we're doing effectively is we're isolating that and we're putting this in Signal Hive in a much bigger way, right? So the amount of signals you get here is much more than you'll ever get in BSB. And you also have much more choice in terms of the type of signal you get and also the asset class. At first, the Hive will be predominantly binary options, but we have already entered talks with a variety of vetted high-quality signal providers and traders on the FX side for foreign exchange, for equities. So long-term, we're actually going to be expanding the signal gamut, not only to FX, but of course to different asset classes, right? But all of you that are here today are mainly here for binary options, and that, of course, remains our focus. One final thing, again, I mentioned it earlier, but with Signal Hive, by virtue of its chat module, which has been tailored and engineered to Hive, it's also a place to meet like-minded people. And what we want to do is really foster a true sense of community, both for members that are in the Hive and, of course, senior traders as well. And I'd like to stress, it's not a place to learn how to trade. You may get a few tips here and there, but it's a place to come, push buttons, and hopefully give yourself a chance to increase your capital over time. And in binary options, unfortunately, as we all know, it's too easy to blow an account, right? So we have done some smart things here. We have put some stabilizer algorithms in place. And generally speaking, it's a low-risk way to grow your capital through time. With Blue Sky Binary, it's more the deep end. You know, this is what we would call for serious traders or people who wish to become professional traders. And there's a very interesting link between Blue Sky Binary and Signal Hive, which I will get to towards the end. So let's go through the key features of Signal Hive. There are 7, okay? And there is an 8th one being engineered. So there's continuous development always happening. First is, of course, the news alert. It's the one that you see here to the left. This is also there on the dashboard. Basically, what this does is that it tells the person who's taking the signal that, okay, be careful, there is major news somewhere in the world right now impacting the following pairs. And our algorithm looks at 4 different economic calendars across different time zones and finds this news half an hour in advance and tells you, be careful, over the next half an hour, 1 hour, you probably don't want to take signals that could impact these pairs. So this will kind of keep you alert and awake, right? The second feature, of course, is human signals. And human signals, again, we'll go over this a bit more in depth, but these are basically signals blasted by senior traders that we, BSB, have vetted, that we have helped train to some degree, or we've certainly vetted them and worked with them for a long period of time. Okay, and we have witnessed these traders perform at their best, also get hit by losses and recover. And this is why these traders have made it to the Hive. So it's not just anybody who comes to us and say, can I please, make money on the Hive? Absolutely not. It's difficult to get on the Hive. The second is the robotic signals. Again, with these streams, some of these streams, they're pretty good. They're not fantastic, but they're pretty good. So Extreme, Curve, Turbo is phenomenal. And then, of course, we're at the Core 3 signal stream. And I'll go over that in a bit more depth in a bit. But generally speaking, the robotic signals that make the Hive, which are blasted to you, these have about 60 to 70% ITM over a very long period. So between 1.5 years and 3 years. Okay. And these signal streams are profitable. Not all the signals will be profitable, never, but the key is to keep this above 60% week in, week out. So you have human signals, robotic signals, and then you have a pretty rich set of preferences where you can decide what type of signals on the robotic side that you want blasted. We're also adding a risk preferences section where you can put in or put on a special stabilizer algorithm that limits the number of losses on certain signal streams. And this is quite a useful exercise. We've done some backtests on that as well. That'll be added shortly. But generally speaking, the preferences allows you to tailor your Hive experience. Then the fifth key feature is the marketplace, right? So when you log into Hive, by the way, you're going to be receiving your logins on Monday. I'll describe that in a bit. But when you log into Hive, you have the ability to subscribe to humans or robots, okay? Now, there is a team of engineers that are continuously adding new signal streams to the robotic section. And you can look at their back-tested performance over the last few years, and you can see if that fits your ITM and volume criteria, and also when the signals are fired. On the human side of things, these are all the traders that we have vetted, and they have made the cut, right? And so they will generally have a higher ITM than the robots. Not on a daily basis, but for example, here you see Tiki, who is one of our top traders, BSB Mike, who runs the Asian session now for better part of 9 months, 8 to 9 months. So he has a fantastic track record. And it's traders like that have effectively made the cut. And so you can subscribe to them, and mind you, the payment and the commercials we will get into in a bit and what that means. But effectively, over time, we're probably going to have close to 50 traders here. And you'll be able to subscribe and desubscribe from the best or the worst traders as you like. All right. Then you have Hive Chat. Okay, this is a small screenshot of how it looks, but you'll be able to have participate in a general discussion room just like the BSB. This room will have anywhere from maybe 10, 20, 30 people at first, all the way up to a few thousand at some point. And when it gets to that level, we'll obviously be segregating these rooms by topic. The key thing here is that you can speak to the senior traders and ask them a little bit about their trading style, and just have a one-on-one, find out a little bit about their trading stream. All the streams, whether it's the paid robotic ones or the human ones, have a free trial embedded in it. So it's a very low risk way to enter the Hive for you. The seventh and final feature for now is the metrics. So we are quite heavy on data. As you know, we're heavy on transparency at BSB. And what we're doing here basically is we're giving you the opportunity to control that. So you don't have to ask us, what was the ITM for this trader yesterday or last week, or what was the ITM? Everything is completely automatically calculated. There is no, hiding of losing bets or anything like that. That's just not how we operate. So You'll be able to click on the trader's performance live. You'll be able to click on Hive's performance live. You'll be able to monitor the performance of any robotic stream live. I think there is maybe a delay of a few hours, but generally speaking, if you check back the next day, everything is updated. And also the performance that you see in the Hive for each trader is also blasted on our main signalhive.com website, right? So if for whatever reason we have a losing month, which I do believe is going to be tough given that we have kind of filtered the best and put it in here, but if we have a losing month, that will show up on our website, right? That's something you should note. So there won't be any masking of winning and losing results. But the good thing is this is on your side, the metrics. So you can download reports and you can do whatever analysis you need. So let's discuss signal accuracy on the Hive a little bit in more depth. You have the robotic signals, you have the human signals, okay? And in terms of volume, you will get about anywhere from 1 to 3 signals a day per signal stream. So when you join the Hive, you are given access, or what is included in your basic subscription is basically access to the extreme signal, which has about 66.7% ITM over 3 years, the curve signal, which is 66.4% ITM, the turbo, which is 66.3, and again, core, which is 66.1 as of last week. And then finally, a fifth signal, which I've not included here. It's currently being added to the Hive. It's back-tested. This is dive. This is 70% ITM. It's the highest ITM signal. And the good news is all of these signals, apart from turbo, are hourly expiries. So it gives you a little bit of time to enter the trade. It's none of this manic, quick, turbo is fired, I have to log into my broker. Oh God, I got logged out. Oh no, I didn't get a good price. We have designed Hive to make it takeable. It's important that these signals are not just signals and they have high ITM, but none of them are realistic enough to be taken by traders. I mean, none of them, they actually have to be feasible by our members to be taken on their platforms. And this is why we've engineered only the kind of the focus in the group is to have hourly expiries, right? That being said, it's worth noting that on the human signal side, we have right from launch, this is starting Monday, we have two traders who are delivering hourly signals and EOD signals, okay? That would be El Rey, okay, which we all know as Kuwait, who's one of our top performers, and of course Mike, who has longer term expiries, as much as hourly or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But there are two dedicated turbo traders here with very high ITM, as you can see, 71% and 69%, the key and alpha. And these traders have been vetted by us. They have been in training, BSB training. Alpha is, of course, BSB Bart, who is a very fine BSB turbo trader. And so we have engineered the signal delivery mechanism so that it becomes easy for you to take turbos. If you recall, if you're currently taking turbo trades on the dashboard, it's a hassle. It's so difficult, right? Although our turbo ITM is good, it's 66%, you don't know when the signal is going to fire. And you have to be lucky to be in front of the dashboard to have the time and when it fires to actually log into your broker and take the signal. And we recognize that problem, right? So we have solved that problem to some degree because the good news is these traders here, these turbo traders, the key and alpha, before you get a signal, you're actually given a signal setup, and that setup is electronic, and it's typically fired about a minute before the signal. And there's a separate sound for it, and there's a person that announces it on the Hive that actually tells you to prepare so that you have enough time to log into your turbo module on your broker, and then the signal is fired, right? So again, this is evidence that we're very consciously aware of the fact that it's important not only to have ITM, but also the fact that you can realistically take the signal on your broker. And to that end, also the pairs that these turbo traders are firing, because they're trading this on their own accounts, the pairs they're probably going to be giving the signals on are also pairs that you will have on your broker, assuming you're not banking with some Timbuktu broker, which has only 3 or 4 pairs or whatever. Okay, so this is the type of ITM for the robotic signals. This is the ITM for the human signals. And again, in terms of volume, let me give you a little bit on that, what you can expect in terms of volume of signals per day per trader that you subscribe to. It's about 3 signals, okay? Typically, I would say on a good day, you'll get maybe as much as 7, but on a slow day, you might only get 1 or 2. So we're taking an average of 3 signals per day. The good news is each trader has their time slot. They have a range. So, for example, Tiki will say, I'll give signals from 5 a.m. GMT, which is the Asian session, all the way until 10 a.m., just 2 hours into the European, right? Whereas Alpha may actually start when Tiki ends, right? So it's a 24-hour kind of round-the-clock signal service. And if you were to subscribe to all 4 traders, which is not something, of course, we are asking you to do, but I'm just giving you a fictitious example, then in theory, you should be getting about 12 signals from 4 traders. And then the robotic signal streams, which are all included in the basic subscription, there are 5 of them. And at 3 per day, that's 15 streams. So hypothetically, you could be getting about 30 signals a day, right? Generally speaking, profitable. And of course, to reiterate, any stream or trader that is below 60% for a sustained period is, of course, going to be removed. Okay, so the Hive is dynamic. You're not going to get someone who's a 65% trader and then they drop to 55%. You're not going to see them on here for a long time. Okay. So let's discuss commercials a little bit. Now, this webinar is purely targeted towards BSB members, paying BSB members, or members that are on the free trial that will eventually join BSB, or members that are currently neither and are thinking about either joining BSB or the Hive. So let's talk about the robotic signals, okay? You get 5 robotic signals. These are included in the basic subscription package, which is priced at $49.99 a month, which was the original BSB price, if you recall, when we first started BSB. What this gives you is effectively access to the Hive, i.e. the entire platform, okay, that $49.99, and you effectively get these 5 signal streams free. These are Extreme, Curve, Turbo, Core, and Dive. They are high ITM, stable, good signals, okay? This basic subscription for $49.99 a month, we are waiving completely. So you're getting it for free for 3 months. Okay, this is our way of thanking you that you've been here this long with us, and also we would like you to test out this platform rigorously. Okay, especially the algorithmic bit. So for 3 months, paying BSB members will not need to pay this basic subscription. However, for the BSB members that do end up subscribing free for this, the individual traders, the human traders, if they wish to subscribe to them, they will need to be paid. And you can click on subscribe and there's a free trial. So for example, this is BSB Mike, then this is BSB Bart, BSB Renz, and Kuit. And you can subscribe to whichever trader you like after having a chat with them or reading about them a little bit by clicking on their performance, clicking on their avatar. Okay. These traders have priced their services at $39.99 per month. And this is for every user that subscribes, whether you're a BSB user or not. These traders need to be compensated for their efforts. They provide good quality signals, a lot of trading information and knowledge as well. So this is something that is not going to be free. Okay, and of course, in the interest of transparency, the traders are taking the lion's share of the subscription. Okay, so this is to incentivize them to continue to deliver high quality product to you. Okay, so these are the commercials. Let's discuss the Signals roadmap now in terms of technology and the development of Hive for the remainder of the coming 2 quarters into 2015. So on the robotics side, I'll stress again, you get the Turbo, Core, Extreme, Curve, and Dive signals. These are included in your package. What we're working on are Fade, Wave, Genetica, Gecko 2.0, and Recoil 2.0. Okay? And I know some of you like the Gecko signal. I personally find it high risk, but it is one that is quite popular. It's also one that's outperformed Extreme in the last 3 months. So it's a good signal. We have engineered a more smarter version of the gecko that's going to be added there shortly. Recoil is currently only an indicator on the dashboard. Again, one of our senior traders has been working closely with Otto, our head of R&D, to make Recoil 2.0. That's being tested. When that's ready, that'll be added as a robotic signal streams. Mind you, everything you're seeing here is robotic. It's purely algorithmic, zero human intervention. Wave is a interesting signal stream that we're working on. More information on that will be divulged shortly. And then Fade is already complete, right? So this is in order of release. Fade is a 2-hour signal, believe it or not, and it can be used for foreign exchange as well, because when it wins with a big spread in terms of pips. And you can set tight stop losses, and you can take that as well. But it can also be used for longer term binary options, typically what we would call end of next hour expiry, right? So it's a 2-hour signal. And these will be added as paid streams. And if you like the backtest, if you like the performance, you are free to subscribe to them. This signal here, Genetica, it's actually based on a completely new signals technology that we've actually insourced, but we've kind of outsourced as well some techniques from a leading technical university. We're using new types of financial algorithms increasingly as we add new signals to make them smarter on the Hive. So you're probably going to be getting a stream of new types of robotic algorithms, which are smarter, they're more adaptive, they change as the market changes as well. And we're very excited to be adding those to Hive over the coming months. In terms of the human signals, so what you already have now in front of you are 4 senior traders from BSB that have been vetted. You can subscribe to them as you like. Tiki is BSB Mike, El Rey is Kuid, Alpha is Bart, and the key is Renz. Renz is actually, he's not been around in BSB for a long time, but he's been trained by one of our finest assets and the creator of the Turbo, Niels. In training, we have BSB Michel, who trades 30-minute signals, okay? And when he passes our quality requirement, he will become a senior trader on the Hive. And of course, this brings me to the most exciting bit, is for you to apply to become a senior trader on the Hive. And what do I mean by this? So, you know, we effectively see Hive, of course, as a place for the hobby trader to join and earn and subscribe and tailor the binary options signal taking experience to their time zones, to their trading habits, to their risk levels. We see Blue Sky Binary as a pure kind of esoteric, education heavy community which trains you in binary options trading and a lot more. And effectively, when you believe you are ready, you know, if you're 65% ITM plus for 3 months or so, and you believe you're ready to showcase your skills in terms of giving profitable signals, after you've spent time in BSB, you can then apply to join the Hive, and you will undergo a 1-month watch period or training period to see how good you are and how good you recover from loss as well. And then you become a senior trader on Hive, right? And that can be a dramatic income opportunity, because there's one way to make money in binary options is to trade, but also the second way is to actually sell signals and profitable signals. And this is why it's partially one of the reasons we have created Hive, is to give the traders that outperform, that do, I won't say survive, but do actually walk through the whole process of BSB and end up becoming really good traders. And mind you, I'd say 2 traders here, if not 3 of the 4, have been trained by BSB or have come to BSB with an ITM of 55% and are now close to 70% through time. There's been a structural improvement that being in BSB, learning the techniques, learning better money management, better emotion control, they've just become structurally better traders. And this is effectively, why BSB is there. And for those that wish to actually go and showcase their skills, then what we'd like to highlight to you, and I won't spend so much time on that now because it's an entirely different presentation, but to give you a few figures, there's 560,000 binary option traders out there today, and that figure is growing at a net 20% per year, right? So every year you're getting close to 100,000 people joining the market around the world, right? And probably only 5 or 10% actually want to learn to become professional traders, maybe even much less, right? So this is a niche product, but everybody wants profitable signals, almost everybody. And so um, we offer a competitive payout structure for qualifying Hive traders. For those of you that are looking to generate income, make this a full-time job and occupation, the Hive potentially provides that opportunity. All right, so you can get in touch with us regarding that function. Now, there's one thing that I haven't addressed, and I know probably all of you are going to be asking it, so I'll say right away. You're probably going to ask, can Hive be automated? Can I just follow all of these signals but not even have to push a button? So can I connect it through BSB's automatic trading program where we released 2 auto traders 2-3 weeks ago? And the answer is yes. So our head of R&D is working now on giving the ability to all members to subscribe to these human traders piecemeal or select streams and have them automated in their accounts. But I will say that this won't be ready for a while. And on top of that, when it is, it won't come cheap. I mean, that's where the cost will expand dramatically. So Hive right now, if you have the time to sit down and subscribe to traders and follow the signals manually, is a cheap proposition, in my opinion. However, if you want these streams to be automated, then of course there's technological costs, API credit costs, setup costs that are involved. But for those of you that just simply have no time to trade, but like the ability or the prospect of having these profitable signals replicated, then that is a separate service we offer in the Hive, and you're more than welcome to get in touch with us. Okay? And that's it. We'll take questions now. Feel free to just use the text module, and I'll be happy to answer them. And by the way, this webinar is recorded as well. It'll be posted in the VIP room. Any questions, anybody? I can see a lot of you raising your hands. Probably best that you use the text panel to ask me the question via text, and I'll respond via voice. Historically, I've tried to unmute your microphones, but there's always some kind of a glitch with that. So go ahead and use the text panel, please. Okay, I see a question from John Walker. Is the ITM calculated monthly or weekly? John, the good news is it's calculated daily, weekly, and monthly. Simon, your question, are we planning to launch an affiliate program for Hive in the future? Absolutely. So we are currently working on one, and we've kind of buttoned down the percentages as well. And feel free to get in touch with us. Our goal, and I'll be very transparent and open about this, from the side of the senior traders who want to train in BSB and who want to then go on to provide signals in Hive and make a living out of it. And I'm talking earning thousands of dollars a month, which is, so that it makes sense for them. The audience in Hive needs to be substantially large. And Hive, at this moment, based on our dedicated servers that we have built, can accommodate a few thousand users already. So our goal is absolutely to scale this up to very large proportions. This is not something that's going to be a niche community like BSB. This is something we want to scale up. So there is going to be an affiliate program. But also, having said that we will be monitoring everything that is said by our affiliates about us, because we are in the process of getting regulation in the UK. As you know, binary options is going to be regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. So we're very careful about how we're going to be represented in any written text on websites or videos or anything like that. So you can get in touch with us for that. Lois, I see a question from Lois. Can you explain what Dive is? Yes, I most certainly can. Dive basically is a 15-minute, 30-minute, and 1-hour signal. So it's 3 split signal streams that has an ITM, back-tested ITM over 15 currency pairs of 70%. And our R&D, Niels has been working tirelessly to evolve Dive. I mean, Dive originally came out of our most powerful signal, the Turbo, but it's been adapted to an hourly signal. So it's actually similar to Turbo, but the expiry is longer, so it's easier to take. Question from Tim. Do you, Josh, plan to become a human trader on Hive? Yes. Yes, I definitely do. That's something. The moment Hive is stabilized and we have launched the dashboard SP, which you know is our next major project, the dashboard signal push, where we're automating the dashboard, which is a tool for professional binary option traders. At that point, I will have probably a bit more time. As of now, I'm of course literally having trouble finding time to sleep, given how quickly BSB is moving forward on multiple fronts as a group, not only in terms of membership growth, but mainly and more importantly in terms of product growth. So my time is at this moment taken up with other activities. But suffice to say, there is a lot of me inside these streams as well. A lot of the signal logic and algorithms that have been originally kind of thought through by me have been, of course, implemented and coded by much smarter people than me. But part of me is in this as well. I see a question from Monique Ayet. Will there be a forum attached to BSB? Yeah, Monique, that's a great idea, and we've had a lot of pushback and complaints that we don't have a forum at all. At this moment, the only place where BSB members can communicate is in BSB Skype rooms. So, and of course, Hive chat. But we are thinking about putting a formal forum together on blueskybinary.com. And if anyone's ever interested in helping us run it, because we are stretched very thin in terms of manpower at this moment, very, very busy in development, feel free to get in touch. Maybe we can work out something that it also becomes worth your while. I see a question from Stavros Tousios. Are those new engineered signals going to be added on the dash? Excellent question. No, Stavros. So again, with Blue Sky Binary, we are creating the focus of Blue Sky Binary's dashboard is going to be on indicators, and we are upgrading all of our advanced indicators and adding new ones like the dead cat bounce, like the Kuwait exhaustion, like the Bollinger bounce, and really making them smart so it becomes almost point click ready. And it's going to be an indicator based dashboard with, of course, the existing signal streams will be blasted there. But we want to make it very clear that Blue Sky Binary is for professional traders or traders who wish to acquire very professional scale over a period of a few months and trade by themselves with the aid of the dashboard or without it. And to that end, we will not be creating it a hand-holding experience where we just blast signals on there. It's a separate product. It's a professional product. Hive is a professional product, but it's catered to a different community. So all our signals development, and I'm glad you asked this question, all of our signals development, whether it's on the short expiries or the long expiries, all of that, all the successful bits of that will go on Hive. All signals will be going on Hive. There will be no indicators on Hive. In fact, there may be a video on demands section on Hive which explains how to improve taking those signals, like the curve webinars and the extreme webinars, but there won't be any reverse creep. So we're not going to put signals from Hive on Dash. I see a question from Meng. Will the extreme, etc. signals on Hive, will it continue to be available on Dash? Yes, Meng, it will. So the existing streams, what you're seeing here, Extreme, Curve, Turbo, and Core, will be on Dash. But for example, Dive won't, right? Fade won't, Wave wouldn't. In fact, just give me one moment, please. These algorithms here, the genetic algorithms that we're employing, Gecko to Recoil, none of these will be on Dash. And again, this is not, to be completely clear, this is not an upsell. We're not into upsells. We've never been into upsells. This is strictly to split our community. We want the people that are not interested in education, even a little bit, to go to Hive. right? And the cost of Hive and the cost of BSB is roughly the same. If you subscribe to the basic signal streams on Hive, that'll cost you 50 a month, 49.99 a month, and one good trader, right? So you're at about 90 a month, roughly speaking. Assuming the traders are at 40 a month, right? So you're at 90 a month there. With BSB, you're at 75 a month, give or take. So it's kind of cost neutral. We certainly don't expect people here to subscribe to both BSB and Hive. That's overload. It's more income for us, but it's overload for the user, right? I see a question from Richard Priest. Can the auto signals be used with Cantor in the US? So, Richard, Cantor, part of Cantor Fitzgerald, a very reputable broker, I think they have a new binary wing which is similar to Nadex. Again, I could be wrong, but this is based on some preliminary research we had one of our analysts do. And um, the auto signals will not be used by Cantor yet. We can, of course, use our connection with the management team of Signal Push to get in touch with Cantor and do some sort of API bridge to enable that. Please get in touch with us and we can get a conversation started between Signal Push and Cantor possibly. But at this stage, unfortunately, all the automation on Hive will be done for your traditional kind of vanilla binary brokers that are offered right now within the existing infrastructure. I see a question from Fiona Richardson. Hi, Josh. Are the signals going to be removed from the BSB dashboard? No, Fiona, not at all. So again, a great question. What you're seeing on the dashboard right now will remain. None of that is going to be removed. It's just that additional signals are going to be all moved over to the Hive. So new development for signals we moved over to the Hive. The dashboard, mind you, will remain as it is right now and will continuously improve. All these signals here, the turbo, core, extreme, curve, they are continuously being improved. New iterations are coming through. The advanced indicators on the dashboard are being continuously improved as well. So the dashboard's development will continue unabated. It's just going in a different direction. Okay, Leslie, I see a question. You're saying, having not being a subscriber yet, is it a good plan to join BSB and try the Hive out for 3 months, then decide where to go from there? Yeah, Les, I think that's the best way to put it. If you are in a position that you are on your free trial or you've been with BSB for a few weeks and it's just not working out, and you feel that you just want something less esoteric, you want something just more simple, you just want to subscribe to some good traders and just follow their signals, and learn just a little bit less and generate some passive income, the Hive is certainly the product for you. I give you an example. Right now, to give you some numbers, we have 115 or 120 paying BSB members in the BSB rooms. We have close to 4,000 people around the world, traders using the dashboard for their trading habits, and our technology reaches triple times that amount, so about 12,000 traders around the world. In BSB right now, there is a small sect or subsect of people, I would say about 10, 15 people, that only come there for Mike's signals in the Asian session. They don't care about anything else. Mike helps them generate money or return on invested capital in a relatively stable way, and that's what they join for. And those people are not interested in education, and this is why partially we have created a product like Hive, because it caters to a different market. So you're absolutely right. That's the right thing to do. If right now you feel that BSB is just not the kind of community that you had envisaged, and this goes out to anybody. If you feel it's too educative, if it's too detailed, if there's a big disconnect between the senior trader knowledge and the newbies, then Hive is most certainly the place. And Hive offers free trials as well. Even the basic subscription has a free trial embedded in it. I think it's 3 days or 1 week. I'll have to double check with the team, but that's probably the best way to do it. I see a question from Pavel. How are the robotic Signal Hive signals different from BSB dashboard? Okay, Pavel, that's a good question. So the turbo that you see on the dashboard, the core, the extreme, and the curve, these are no different. They're exactly the same. What you're seeing in the dashboard is going to be exactly the same what you see in the Hive. Now, the Hive has slightly, ever so slightly better technology behind it. The codes, the scripts, the servers are a bit more powerful because the delivery of turbo signals is something that we need to have delivered within seconds. And on dashboard, it can take sometimes 20, 30 seconds, right? And that generally doesn't sacrifice the ITM so much, but in answer to your question, there's no difference. However, the dashboard will not have the dive signal. It will not have the fade, the wave, the Genetica, the Gecko 2, or the recoil. Hive will have these robotic signals. Okay. I see a question from Michael Lucas. Will these newer signals ever make it to the BSB dashboard and webinars on how to improve the ITM on these newer signals? Excellent question. So these new signals, Michael, won't make it to the dashboard, but I'm glad you brought up the point about the webinars. I think what we will be doing, as I alluded to earlier, is having a video on demand section in Hive that simply explains how to improve the accuracy of any of these signals, right? Again, the signals that make Hive in general are going to be a bit better than what you're seeing on the dashboard. But there are, of course, traders that would want to get 70% plus on a daily basis, or to try to get that, and that will require some filtering. So we will make webinars for dive, for fade, for wave. I already owe you all a webinar for Gecko 1 and Gecko 2, recoil, Genetica. All of these at some point, I think we'll have to have an informative webinar on Hive. But we want to limit it to that. Again, Hive is not about education. It's about following signals. Dive is all about, BSB is all about education. It's not so much about signals. And the signals that we do blast, we expect you to filter them using whatever you learn in BSB. I see a question from Monique on forums again. Yes, Monique. With regards to a forum attached to Hive, I think at first we're going to have the Hive chat, which is, the aim is to foster kind of a friendly community spirit, trade together, discuss signals together, discuss with senior traders. There is no plans to have a forum for Hive just at the moment. But again, this is, we are a community-driven community. And so if you feel this is something of interest, get in touch with us. We can see if we have engineering capacity free, and we can get one done for Hive as well. Okay, a question from Gary Cook. Excellent question, Gary. Is there anything that needs to be downloaded, or will the Hive be all online? Just checking to see if I can access from work. Gary, the Hive is fully online, so it's like the dashboard, slightly prettier than the dashboard. Thank God for that. The dashboard is ugly as sin. And it will be fully web-based. At this moment, it is not mobile responsive, but it works on an iPad, so it looks good on an iPad. On a mobile phone, there's too much information on the Hive interface. This is how Hive looks, by the way, for those of you that have not had a time to log in. Let me just show you this. This is how it looks. So it's kind of clean, but there is sort of a lot of colors on there. There's a lot of icons and a lot of buttons. It's not something I would suggest you can trade off an iPhone, but certainly it's web-based. Now, for the automated side of things, if for those of you that are going to be wanting to have these signals automated when that capability is there will be a VPS-based mechanism in place, and our head of R&D will guide you through it, and will help you set that up, and that may require some downloads possibly, but not to use Signal Hive like this. That's all web-based. I see a question from Koos. Will the dashboard still fire in the same way mode? Yes, Koos. No more changes to the dashboard to the downside. It's all signals that you see will remain on the dashboard, and we'll be adding more indicators and improved indicators going forward. And we're also upgrading the dashboard charts shortly. I see a question from Marco Romano. To get the ITM percentage mentioned by robots and by traders, it will be necessary to enter in all trades. I mean, should I follow all-day signals? Fantastic question, Marco. So you're absolutely right. What we have done to the best of our ability is to reduce the need to do that. So you can have two types of signal streams. the one signal stream is 65% ITM, but it is 65% ITM all the time. So anytime you take a signal, you have a 65% chance of winning it. And those are the best signal streams. Those are really powerful signal streams, and I'm very proud to say that out of all our signals, the turbo is the one that performs the most stable. It's the closest variance or deviation from the mean ITM or the average ITM with the turbo. Now, if you take a look at the extreme, and we're working on this, the extreme is a more unstable signal stream. So overall, it has an ITM of 67%. Slightly higher than the turbo over 3 years, but you'll get weeks where the extreme is at 80%, but then you'll also get weeks where it's at 45%, and we've managed to engineer that closer so it's closer to the 60% mark. In answer to your question, if you are subscribing to a human trader and obviously the basic package, you will not need to follow all signals as long as you use proper money management. What I mean by that is, if you start the Hive during the day and you're up 4-1 for the day, or you've made 5-2 and you're profitable, my suggestion would be to just quit and spend the rest of the day watching how the signals went and getting used to the Hive, right? If you're going to go into the Hive expecting 15 wins and 4 losses on a daily basis, you're probably going to end up over trading. So no, you do not need to follow all signals to get 60% ITM. We have engineered them in a way that they are more powerful than that, but equally at the same time, you're not going to be getting continuously winning signals. You are going to see these reds. See a question from Francis Obasogi. Okay, as for the human signals, are the traders going to be trading at specific particular time sessions, as in Asian, Euro, US session, etc., or will each trader trade across sessions? Excellent question. Francis, so this is the good news, is the traders that you see right now on Hive, we've actually vetted in such a way that they are covering between them all time zones. So hypothetically, you can subscribe to 4 traders and then you're effectively getting signals almost 24 hours of the day. The only time that you won't be getting signals is 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. GMT until 4 a.m. GMT. That window, unfortunately, we don't cover, but the good news is we have a trader in training that is training for that window. But there will be overlap. In answer to your question, for example, Renz, which is who is known as the Key and Alpha, those 2 traders, they cover the EU, and Kuwait, El Rey as well. So the Key, Alpha, and El Rey, these 3 between them will be there will be some overlap. So Bart, for example, starts at 10 in the morning, goes on until 2, but he may have some signals later as well. The Key starts later in the day and goes on until 6, and then Kuwait starts at 2 and goes on until 6 to 8 or whatever. So there will be overlap, but the good news is that you know what times the traders will trade. They have a range. If you just click on their avatar, you'll be able to see what the range is. Olu, your question, one moment, please. Your question, can I have both BSB dashboard and Hive together? Won't there be a clash of signals? Yes, so to give you a bit of background, you won't see any of these human trader signals on Dash. Okay, so that will be all on Hive. And you won't see, of course, these additional robotic streams that we're adding, dive, fade, wave. So if you're here at BSB for signals, my suggestion would be to actually go on Hive and just wait and take the signals there. I would not suggest for you to have both Hive and Dashboard open. You can try that. If you have the horsepower for that, go ahead, run it. But there will be a clash in signals for these 4 streams, right? Extreme, Curve, Turbo, and Core, because both Hive and Dash are blasting them. Okay, I see a great question from Tim. Josh, do you believe that Hive will take away from current BSB live room trades, especially the Asian session, in terms of duration of the session, balancing between 2 different chat systems, 2 different sets of participants? This is a great question, and we've tried to address this. We've tried to theorize beyond how this will look, and the answer is quite simple. So the live trades room is there in BSB. It'll always be in BSB. And all the traders, most of the traders that you see on Hive will be imparting their advice in the live trades room. Whether it's in terms, whether it's Kuwait saying, I'm looking at the euro US dollar for a 1 hour position, I'm entering this trade, or it's them actually giving, one signal or so per day. What you will see in the live trades room going forward is just that, for example, Mike, who runs the agent session, he'll just give one signal. All right. Bart will give one signal. So you'll get a signal out of the traders in BSB live trades room. It may be a duplicate signal that you're seeing on Hive as well. Most probably will be. And that's to keep the live trades room going. For the people that are in BSB, we want to give them that signal. But you're not going to be getting signal sessions running in BSB in the live trades room. A, because it becomes a nightmare in terms of admin. There's total confusion. People these days use the live trades room to discuss, what coffee they're having for lunch, what broker is scamming them. And that's lovely. We want this debate. And nobody uses the general discussion room, which is interesting. And so we want this debate. We want this healthy discussion of setups and the confirmation of setups. That's exactly the type of audience we want. So we thank all of you that engage in that. But in terms of live trades room as a signal session, it's inefficient. You've seen it yourself. So we're hiving that off, pun intended, to the Hive. And in answer to your question, shortly and sweetly, yes, there will be signals. It'll just be limited to one, though, per session. If you want more of Mike, go and subscribe to him. If you want more of Kuwait, more of Bart, go and subscribe to them. That's what we would suggest. I see a question from Simon Patmore. You mentioned about being sent login details tomorrow. So do we not need to register? If you're a paying member of BSB, will receive login details tomorrow in the morning. I think at around 10 or 12 p.m. GMT, around the morning, early afternoon, and your login details will allow you to enter the Hive and acclimatize in the Hive. And there will also be a moderator there that you can discuss your questions with if you're a bit unclear on how to navigate the user interface or what the signals are. Very happy to help. And there's also a dedicated support in Hive, so support@signalhive.com, where you can send an email to, and within 24 hours, typically sooner, you should get a response. I see a question from Bibin. Yes, Bibin, thank you for the question on auto trading. So auto trading is almost ready. It's something that should probably launch in 3 to 4 weeks, maybe less, 2 to 3 weeks, because we have launched auto traders on Signal Push. Doing this now as part of BSB ATP, which is the BSB automatic trading program, is not difficult. We are just simply thinking through the commercials a bit more because it will be expensive. Auto trading Hive is not for the faint-hearted. Trading on Hive, subscribing to Signal Hive is it's devised for middle income earners such as myself. It's people that can afford it. But if you're going to want multiple streams automated, that's going to cost you. So we're working out a way to make this the most fair for the consumer. Hector, fantastic question. Hector is asking, can I use Hive signals in Forex? Yes, Hector, you can. So you can use the extreme, the curve, and the core. This is an EOD signal. And some of our human traders signals, which are EOD or hourly signals, for example, the ones blasted by Kuwait, if you're using tight stop loss management, so 10 pips, 15 pips, generally speaking, get in touch with us. We can give you the amount of pips these signals win by when they win. It's typically 7 to 12 pips, so they can be used for scalping purposes. Okay? Okay, I see many more questions. Do bear with me. Meng, thanks for your question. No, so just to be clear, Meng is asking, will all signals be disabled from Dash? No, Meng, they will not be disabled from Dash. So as I mentioned, there is no change to Dash. The Dash remains as it is. There's just no new signals being added to dashboard. Okay, I see a question from Sunila. In BSB and in Hive, the signals delivered by Mike, also known as Tiki, will be the same or different? Great question. So Mike will deliver one signal during the Asian session in the Skype room. which will be also blast on Hive, by the way. But Mike is also going to be blasting many more signals thereafter in Hive. He's using the same strategy, if that's what you're asking, or a similar strategy. Okay, Stani, I see a question. What is the difference between Hive robotic signals and BSB dash signals? Okay. The turbo, the core, the extreme, the curve. These are exactly the same on dashboard as on Hive. On Hive, we are adding dive, which is a new signal stream that won't be added to the dashboard. Dive is slightly higher ITM than these 4 streams, according to backtests. Then we're adding fade, wave, Genetica, Gecko 2, and Recoil 2 to Hive. These robotic streams will not be added to the dashboard. Most signal streams robotic that are being added to Hive are going to be 1-hour expiries. Some will be 30 minutes. Almost none will be 5 minutes. So most probably the turbo is the only stream that will be a 5-minute stream. Koos, great question. So this is a question on the commercials. Koos is asking, who do I pay? Do I pay BSB? Do I pay the individual trader? So BSB through PayPal, we've changed none of our payment processing because PayPal is very safe. You're effectively, when you click on subscribe, your free three-day free trial starts through PayPal. Your funds are collected by PayPal on behalf of BSB. We then effectively pay the trader at the end of the month. We have contracts in place with all traders, legal contracts with all traders. So they're paid at the end of the month. Okay, I see a question from John Marsh. For someone currently not a member of BSB, will there be training for Startup Hive members? Yes, John, support will walk you through it. One of our team, either Zio or myself or Jose or Otto, are very happy to walk you through the Hive in terms of how it works. The way it has been designed, however, if you click on the FAQ, it's very self-explanatory. It's less daunting than the dashboard, which can be confusing. But yes, absolutely, we'll be happy to show you around. Okay, I see a question from William Brent. Again, fantastic question. If I decide to keep both subscriptions, is there a discount? Because that is 75 plus 49.99. Will, there is no discount planned at this moment. Just to be clear with you, you're a paying member in BSB, so you're not paying anything for the first 3 months anyway. That 49 is waived, right? For 3 months, we're giving everyone in BSB access to the Hive. So please, you lose nothing. Starting Monday, all of you log in, go nuts. For 3 months. Thereafter, if you wish to stay in the Hive, according to our projections, by then you would have probably decided if BSB is even right for you, if you are kind of more oriented towards push button signals, or if you are more oriented towards education and advanced indicators. At that point, you'll probably make the decision yourself to cut one and stick with the other, cut both, or just stick with BSB. If you decide to keep both, get in touch with us, and of course, if you're looking for some sort of discount, we can discuss it. Okay, and I see a question directly after that from Leslie. How about a package which includes Hive and BSB? It's not something we have really considered commercially because we see it as catering to such a different audience, both different products. We haven't really considered, but it's something we can discuss, Leslie, from a commercial standpoint. There may be a valid argument for that. So, yeah, Bibin, thank you for your question on auto trading on Hive. As discussed, I've already answered that. I see a question from Meng. Okay, fantastic question. Will the discussions on signals in Hive be like on BSB? For example, Kuwit's end-of-day signals, which have a lot of analysis on them. This is a fantastic question. So this is actually a great question. When I subscribe to, let's say, Kuwait, which is known as El Rey, this dragon thing here. When I subscribe to him and he's giving signals, Kuwait will be giving 30-minute signals, end of hour signals, and end of day signals. Okay. And I will then get access electronically to Kuwait's private chat feed on Hive Chat. If I don't subscribe to Kuwait, I get no access to him. I only can speak to him in the general discussion room on Hive Chat, right? But when I subscribe to him, I get a separate chat window opened up with Kuwait and all the other subscribers that are subscribed to Kuwait. And there you can ask Kuwait whatever you want. And we expect you to burden Kuwait so much that he wishes he never signed up to Hive. But all jokes aside, we want you to ask the traders, right? We want you to cause them stress and keep them on their toes. Part of the reason we've built this is so that the traders can compete with each other. And the reason behind that is the highest ITM BSB ever had was human ITM, and that was in its very early days, although they only lasted 1 month, where we had Niels, Arch, Mike, and 2 other traders. I've forgotten their names now, but everyone was competing to deliver the best signals. And I remember we had weeks where we were at 75% ITM with 40 signals, right? So when human traders with competitive spirit get competitive, everybody benefits, the community benefits as well, and that's why we have created the Hive. So please, we would ask you to please ask the trader questions. Why did they give the signal, etc. But equally at the same time, not always respect the trader, right? I mean, we've seen some interesting things develop in the live trades room recently with Mike. Always understand that in the Hive you're there with one purpose, and that's to make money from following signals, not to question the analysis or analyze the analysis and analyze the analysis of the analysis. That just wastes everybody's time. I see a question from Marco Romano. Before you said that signals can be customized, do you mean that I could choose only signals with higher ITM percentage? Yes, Marco, definitely. I mean, right now when you join here, unfortunately or fortunately, all the ITM of these signals is roughly similar. So I would like to have all of these signal streams on my dashboard. I'm sorry, on my Hive board, and I would then just, for me, the decision would be more on how many, which signal stream is more stable, and which one can I take easier, because Turbo is 66% ITM, but there is that inherent problem that it fires and I'm somewhere else. I'm not on the table or whatever. So as we're adding more and more robotic streams, ultimately, I would say at the end of the year, we're probably going to be having 30 streams, robotic, and probably another 10 traders, right? So at that point, you'll be able to see much more clearly which are the weaker traders, the better traders, the more stable traders, the ones that suit your time zone, the ones that deliver enough signals for you, and whatever. Right now, the situation is a bit more obvious because we only have 4 traders on the Hive and about 5 signal streams, robotic ones. I see a question from Meng. In that sense, then, will those who don't subscribe to said trader will be able to listen to said discussions? Yeah, Meng, that's correct. So if you're not subscribed to that particular trader, you will not be able to listen in on what the members subscribed to that trader are discussing. And the reason we did this, again, it's not for upselling or anything. It's just we want to give that level of privacy and intimacy. We want these traders here to build their own signal communities, but on Hive, right? So Mike has his loyal set of subscribers, which are increasing in live trades room. We just want to take that out and Hive it out and allow Mike to continue those relationships with his members in a private chat. Tim, your question on can you announce today the time sessions for each human trader? I don't have them at the top of my head, but if you log into Hive and you just click on each trader, you'll be able to see what time they do it. I see a question from Alfred Corvid. Which signals will run across all trading exchange sessions? Great question, Alfred. The extreme and the curve and the core will. The turbo will fire only after 2 p.m. GMT, and the dive will run 24 hours as well. This is for the robotic signals. For the human signals, you would need to click on the trader and you'll find out the exact range of time zone, i.e. when they run their signal sessions. And by the way, if you ever want to speak to the individual trader, we're very happy to set up a Skype discussion between you and the trader, or you can just find the trader in Hive chat and ask them more about their strategy. Yes, Meng, yes. Stan, your question on when Mike will start the paid signals, it's begun. You just have to go and subscribe to him. So it's tomorrow onwards. He's already started blasting signals on Friday. All 4 traders have been testing the signal delivery module last week. So that's working well. I'm very happy to say it's working fine. It's pretty good, pretty crisp, very less delays. You can subscribe to any of these traders. Great question, Michael. Any chance of email alerts for notification for the Hive signals? It's a fantastic question. So at this moment, no. But for the hourly signals, we can see that there is market demand to make that happen. There is rationale behind that. So it's something we're going to implement for sure. It's just I can't give you a timeline on when that's going to happen, but it's definitely something for the hourlies that we want to enable. Okay, and probably we're not going to be charging for that. It's something that should be part of the service. The reason that we haven't done it at the moment is simply because the delay. We would need to use a special type of SMTP server that that gets the signal to you via email immediately. At this moment, if you look at signal services that are blasting signals via email, our experience has been that sometimes the email just ends up in your junk box, or it comes 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, and that's not competitive. So once we can iron out that, we can start to do that. Okay, Marco, I see a double question. I think this one has already been answered with regarding to customizing the signals. I see a question now from Stavros. Josh, you mentioned $39.99 per human trader subscription. Is there a discount package for those who want to subscribe to more than one human trader? Stavros, unfortunately, at this moment, there isn't. To put things into perspective, if you look at Mike's performance and Kuwait and Bart and stuff, these are some pretty heavy-duty traders, that we've vetted, and $40 in our view is already very low. So again, I think at this stage there probably won't be a discount, but let's see after 3 months and see how this goes. We certainly would not want to displease our loyal members in BSB, so we can always keep it an open discussion. Stanley, your question on which human trader provides signals for Nadex. So with Nadex, we get a lot of questions on Nadex, probably something we need to look at in more depth. Fantastic platform. If you win in Nadex by a significant margin in terms of pips, so we're looking at extreme, curve, core, EOD signals, you can invest $20, $30 and get 100 out of it. The percentage return is over proportional. The downside with Nadex is it's a very difficult platform to navigate around at first, so it's got a bit of a learning curve. The upside is, of course, it's part of the IG Markets group, which is very, very well known. And in terms of our signals, the long-term ones can work with it. In terms of your and a question with regards to which traders provides Nadex specific signals, none. So there is no such signal which is Nadex specific. But if you look at El Rey, his signals are hourlies and end of days. Some of Bart's, the alpha signals are EODs. Some of Mike's win by a pretty big margin. So they can all be used in Nadex, but we haven't done any signal stream that is tailored to Nadex or Cantor Exchange, which uses a similar platform. So at this point, I would say it's to the extent that some of these signals can be used for FX, they can be used for Nadex. But more than that at this stage, we can't help. I see a question from Meng. Will the human hives be more active on the Hive chat as opposed to BSB chat? No, absolutely not. So, in fact, you'll probably see more chat in BSB. In Hive, it'll just be, hey, hello, and all that, and a bit of community talk. I think there'll be more people talking in Hive amongst themselves and discussing the signals as opposed to discussing with the traders. I see a question from William Brent. Time zones. Will Alive reflect GMT or the time zones a trader is in? I'm EST. Will, if you go to the preferences, I'll need to check with our tech guys, but if you go to the preferences in Signal Hive, where it says set time zone, you can set your time zone there to New York time or Eastern Standard Time or wherever you're based in the States. And there has been a call for us to move to UTC, Universal Time. That's something we're working on, looking at. Okay, I see a question from Michael Lucas. So the live session with Bart and Mike are pretty much stopping or strictly limited now to just one trade? Correct, Michael. The live session with Bart or any of the traders are going to be now limited to one trade. Okay. Thanks, Bibin, for your question. So Bibin is asking if we can incorporate any other broker in Signal Push other than CT option. Bibin, we can certainly speak to the Signal Push management. Ultimately, it's the Signal Push management team that has close to 5 years of experience and broker relationships with whom they wish to create or not create technical alliances with, but we can certainly have a chat with them. If you have a list of binary brokers that you want us to ask Signal Push to add so that they work with our auto traders, please get in touch with us. I'll be happy to parlay that information to Ryan over at Signal Push. Okay, Stani, great question. So Stani's asking, can I just subscribe to Mike then, but not the robo signals on Hive? No, you can't. So access to the Hive is what gives you those 5 free streams, the robotic streams, but it is $50. And then up and above that, you can subscribe to Mike and any of the other traders. Hi, KB. Thanks for your question. Will you be getting Hive signals via SMS as well? At some point, yes. SMS without delays is expensive. Email is not, but SMS can get expensive. We have investigated that. So we would need to see the ROI on Hive as a group and how it's progressing. And of course, if the cash flow warrants it, it's something that we can arrange. It's a good idea. Okay, Stani, it's a great question. So if you want to subscribe to Mike, do you do it today or tomorrow when you send the login details for Hive? Again, Stani, there's no rush for any of this, right? So if you are glued to Mike's signals, and if that's kind of why you're at BSB, then you can subscribe today, or you can just go with the flow and do it at some point next week. Sorry, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. Your login details for Hive, which give you a 3-month free access to the Hive, excluding the human traders, they'll be sent to you tomorrow, though. Stani, great question. At what time will Mike be posting signals? So from my memory, again, you need to go into the Hive and click on Tiki, or just PM me and I'll find out for you. And the same goes for Tim, because I know you asked that question earlier. Mike will be blasting signals from about 4 a.m. GMT to about 9 or 10 a.m. GMT European time. Right, so it's the late Asian that he's covering, and it'll probably run for about 4 or 5 hours. And in that period, roughly speaking, you should be getting anywhere from, depending on market conditions, 5 to 10 signals from Mike. He has a decent volume and quantity. Kuwait, by comparison, is probably going to be giving 3 signals a day, high accuracy. Bart, 3 to 5 in that range. Bart also gives EODs, by the way, and he has a fantastic EOD accuracy. And Rents is purely turbos, 3 to 5 a day. Thank you, Koos, for the kind words. Okay, cool. It's a great question. Will Dive be on Hive for tomorrow? Because we had a bit of a miscommunication internally, Dive will actually be delayed by probably um, 5 days. Probably 5 days. So it'll be out on Friday of next week. Again, we're opening up the Hive now, but we're kind of expecting a gentle flow of signups, not kind of rabid BSB members just getting in on Monday and all going crazy. It's something that over the next 2 weeks we expect you all to check it out. Dive will be on, of course, by Friday. The signal is completely ready, and we're also discussing to add the gecko, but we're going to label it as a high risk signal and one that you will have to physically go to and subscribe to under robotic, but it's a free signal, so you'll never pay for it. Because I know that a lot of you trade the gecko and you enjoy trading the gecko, but it is an unstable signal stream. But definitely, that's one to add. Yes, Stanislaw, we'll be sending the login details to Hive tomorrow, so you can do as you like after that. Tim, great question. So you're asking what does the BOA stand for BOA Rens? BOA actually is a competitor to BSB. It's called Binary Options Area. And we actually stole Rens from them, and we stole Niels from BOA as well. They just love BSB so much that we told them to do whatever they're doing here. Secretly, they're probably planning to scam us, but it's all part of the game. We're enjoying that. But all jokes aside, BOA is basically a competitor, but we became joint technology partners at some point. So he's trained by Niels. Niels is our finest turbo trader, and so Renz is pretty good as well. I see a question from Jared Cassidy. Will Mike's session on Skype tomorrow be normal or only one trade? Jared, tomorrow specifically, Mike is on travel. I think he had posted a message in the general discussion room, so he's not. I'll repost it after the webinar. He is away, so I'm not even sure there's going to be a session tomorrow. But Tuesday onwards, I think it will be just one signal going forward. I see a question from Stanislaw. If I want to sign up only for mic signals, how do I do it? Stani, so I think with respect to, I'm not sure if you asked that question already, but you have to sign up to the Hive and then click on subscribe to mic signals. You just click on the subscribe button. Leslie, good question. You're saying I'm still on a trial week. Can I pay up on BSB and get the free Hive trial? It is as uncommercial as it sounds, what I'm about to say next, but at this moment, we don't have that function where we allow you to pay up front. So we would suggest you complete your free trial. I think it should be ending in 1 or 2 days, and then just subscribe then to get your free bit. Although, since you have stated that you wish to stay with BSB, we can probably arrange a login for you anyway for the Hive immediately, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yes, Kareem, you can definitely tell that to everybody. We love you too. Okay, so Stanislaw, you're asking why can't we just sign up for the human trader signals? Because you just can't. It's a strategic step from us within the group. There are reasons for it, but we believe we've priced everything very competitively here. If it's something you feel that it's not commercial, then what we can suggest, of course, is to terminate your BSB membership. And from a cost perspective, because we realize that you're paying $75 a month in BSB, and if you're here for Mike, then you can just subscribe to Mike, right, and Hive, and you're basically paying roughly the same then, whatever, $90 as opposed to 75. That's something you can do. Right, I see a question from Bibin Sharon. Is there any trader in Hive who's trading news events? That's a great question. Yes. So Kuwait, who's known as El Rey, will be trading news events. Select news events, of course. The other traders will trade around news, including Mike, most of the time. When I become a trader on Hive, I will probably be only trading news events, and probably with a few BGs as well. I love news trading. So there will be a lot more different types of traders, believe it or not. There will be traders that trade ladders on Hive. There'll be traders that trade no-touch options. There'll be FX traders. There's going to be traders that give signals on stocks, equities, right? Indices. So what you're seeing is the beginning of a very long-term project. Marco, yes, good question. In the future, will we create an app? Yes, we are probably a month away from creating the Signal Hive app, from getting it started, the process, and then it'll probably take 4 months, with including testing, for the official Signal Hive app for Google Play Store and the iTunes App Store to go live. And so you'll be able to get a very kind of beautiful, cute-looking app, um, just blasting signals all day. Thank you, Simon, for your kind words. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I see no more questions. That's been 80 questions. That's pretty interesting, and of course, a big turnout. Thank you for taking the time. Is there any final questions on this right now? All right, I see no more questions. Thank you all for your time. This webinar has been recorded, and I'm going to be posting it in the VIP room once it has been uploaded to YouTube. And I'll see you in the rooms. And good luck next week with your trading. Thanks.